never seen the
Saddle up your horses.
Pitter patter, let's get at her. It is another episode of the Manely Broncos Podcast. And before we start every single episode from here on out, Brandon, it is important that we always ask this question, especially when it comes to a mock draft that we're getting ready to do with the 7-round mock draft, Denver Broncos themed mock draft.
Before we get started, does anyone want to get out?
That's right. It is important to ask that very, very important question. And Maddie was a little bit running late, but hey, he joined like just in the nick of time with the what is that, Maddie?
This is a Corona Sunrise.
Dude, check this out. Hold on.
Corona Sunrise.
You drink it down. Is that?
Look at this can. I've never seen this.
Nice.
This is literally my favorite beer. You can only get them in Arizona. So my mom was in Arizona, and I asked her to bring me back some. I've never seen it in the can before. Like I've always had it.
What's
like,
the kind of beer?
It's a amber ale, apparently Scottish style, which I didn't know because I only ever had it like in a glass. So I'm eager to see if it's as good as I remember because it was so good. It was literally my favorite beer when I've had it before.
So when you say as good as you can remember, when was the last time you had it?
Like 8 months ago, maybe.
Okay.
So recently, but not like insane.
Okay.
Because I can only get them in Arizona. There was one bar here in town that had them on tap, and it wasn't as good. So we'll see.
Okay. Well, thank you guys so much for hopping in with us. We have a fantastic, I guess you could call it limited edition because it's like, one stop only. Like this is the first time we've done this all year as far as doing a 7-round mock draft, and it's the live stream version of this. We're definitely excited about this. Unfortunately, we do have some sad news. Frankie cannot make this show here tonight, but we're still going to be doing the 7-round mock draft to the best of our ability and engage you guys, the listeners of the Manely Broncos podcast. Clayton, thanks for hopping in, my man. It is the 7-round mock draft, Denver Broncos edition. I'm sure you're excited about that. We are going to be using the Pro Football Focus simulator, which should be a lot of fun. Brandon and I have been kind of like experimenting, Maddie. And we're not going to use like the turbo. We're not going to use the turbo speed.
Yeah, there's a turbo setting that we tried, and like I couldn't see what happened. Like I had no idea who was even still available because it was just like it was ridiculous. It was a snapping. It was a Thanos snap.
Yeah, like literally, yeah.
It was ridiculous. But Clayton, I think, is literally going to be like as we go forward here, is probably going to be the first person to always say evening, guys, every single episode, and I'm here for it. So thank you.
He's a real one. Yeah,
this is going to be like just clockwork.
Ray, right? Ray, and Avatar is another one that kind of will hop in every once in a while. So yes, make sure you smash that like button, Hulk smash that like button, and share this particular show. It is going to be a fun one. It's going to be an amazing, amazing show.
If you're John Wick, the like button killed your dog.
There's the nerd.
Wow, that's great.
I saw John Wick 4 recently.
That's lovely.
What a ridiculous movie, man.
I haven't seen it yet.
Oh,
I cannot wait.
It's John Wick. Like,
don't spoil it.
No, but it's John Wick. Like, Okay, fun fact. I know, like, before we get into the topic, I just realized how old do you think Keanu Reeves was when he did John Wick 1? Because this blew my mind.
40 years old.
50.
50.
John Wick does. John Wick. I'm literally calling him John Wick. John Wick does not age. Anyway,
yeah.
Carry on.
So he does this, right? So like he does the Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. He does like all these other shows, but no, we're gonna go off of, he
Ironically, Keanu Reeves is also like the most wholesome actor of all time. So
yeah.
Anyway.
Before we get started, no, I don't. I'm not calling up the Captain America clip. But before we get started, how are you guys doing? Maddie, you doing good?
I'm all right. Dealt with the Thunder being in the play-in and then losing, which sucked. But the Avs are in the playoffs, and that's cool, except they lost last night, so that also sucks. Yeah, I'm preparing. So breaking news, people are starting to find out now. I'm actually moving in August, so I will not be living in San Antonio for much longer. I am moving back to Omaha, Nebraska, close to friend of the pod, Sarah Bedinger. So it's going to be pretty dope. A lot of watch parties in my future.
If I knew you were announcing that this episode, I literally would have added a Peyton Manning screaming Omaha video.
I'm actually gonna have the chance to meet Sarah again this upcoming weekend because obviously my dad and I will be at the Nebraska spring game, and so when we have a tendency to always go to Nebraska, we always kind of make it a precedent to go visit Sarah and his family. So I'm sure that particular topic will brace the surface of what we'll talk about. Brandon, you've been geeking out. You were saying that like you were geeking out on Elden Ring.
Yeah, man, I was playing some Elden Ring earlier. It was super fun. I go through phases. I was like so hyped for it when it was coming out over a year ago, last February. So hyped, like beyond, like probably the most hyped I've ever been. Played it for like 2 weeks straight. Literally just like did nothing else. Didn't touch it for 8 months. Just like stopped completely. And then I got back into it. So it's fun. It's incredibly difficult. But today is my rest day in the gym, so I can do whatever I want. So I'm gonna play some Elden Ring and scream at the TV and sit there and cry because every muscle in my body is sore. But other than I'm doing okay. I mean, I also have like a horrible sore throat. I hate this. I would not wish this on my worst enemy. And I probably shouldn't be drinking beer, but you know what? I want this beer so bad. So
people do a lot of crazy things when they want the beer that they want, right?
Dude, I literally had to wait like for weeks for this to come. Like my mom had to bring this from Arizona. So I'm like, screw it. I'm going to drink it.
Yeah. All right. So we are getting ready to do the 7-round mock draft edition for the Denver Broncos. I'm really looking forward to this. One of the things that's going to be so fun about this is that, you know, Maddie and Brandon and myself are not just going to be sole contributors, to this particular mock draft, but you, as Clayton's chiming in, Clayton will have the opportunity to chime in with his ability to potentially make a selection, for the Denver Broncos and basically play the role of he himself being on the clock. So it's going to be a lot of fun. And hopefully, we have some other people, have the opportunity to chime in, but it's an exciting time. And it's also one that, and hopefully doesn't have a tendency to get too long on this, but we also are going to have the potential for trades within this. So trades are going to happen within this. And what's going to be fun with the particular one that we're going to use with Pro Football Focus is you have the ability to trade any player off of a certain roster that is on a team. Meaning, if you hate Russell Wilson and you want him off your football team, I'm looking at Brandon because he's like the biggest Russell Wilson hater. I'm joking.
Yeah, I literally own his jersey. You want to go put it on? I'll put it on. I'm glad this is the one time. Okay. Frankie, I'm sorry. Forgive me. This is the only time I will ever say that I'm thankful you were not here because Justin Simmons would probably be gone.
You're not going to tell me that like you don't have like his jersey or something?
Justin Simmons jersey? I wish, dude. Jerseys are expensive, man. I literally own 2, and one of them is Von Miller, who's not even on the team anymore. Sad face.
Oh, but anyway, so yeah, you guys can, if you guys want to play the role of general manager, you guys can voice the opinion of, let's trade Cortland Sutton, or let's trade Jerry Jeudy, or anything like that. That has been one of the biggest things of conversation. Obviously, the wide receiver position, or if you guys feel like you want to go the tight end route and trade Albert Okwuegbunam, that is definitely an avenue that we can certainly go. So, yeah, it'll definitely be an exciting one, and it's one that I'm, of course, really looking forward to. We're gonna bring Maddie back.
Center or corner? You speak in my language.
There we go. I needed to get it on the desktop, and now I'm hearing myself twice.
Well, no one likes the
Should
black
get that
screen
checked
of
out.
that. Yeah, no one likes the black screen of that either. But Maddie, before we get started on this front, you unfortunately weren't able to make the other one where we actually described like two players on the offensive side of the ball and the defensive side of the ball, who were two players on the offense and defense, meaning not like two players on offense, two players on defense, but if you had a actual like crush that you want the players to the Broncos to draft on offense and defense, who would it be? You may be muted, it looks like, or the sound isn't coming through or something.
How about now?
There we go.
Okay, I can just hear myself. That's fine. Ty Spears. Love him. Deuce Vaughn. Also love him. Let's run the ball 50 times a game. I don't care.
So you're saying Tajay Spears and Deuce Vaughn? That's a bold strategy, Cotton.
Well, we went
just
wide receiver in the first
I'm
round.
kidding. I'm messing with you.
Both of these guys are like potentially day 3 guys. So, yeah, I like both of those. Because I don't think John Jacob Jinkle Michael Smith is going to be available. So,
do you have any like defensive positions? How you doing, Bawana? Thank you for chiming in and hopping in with us.
No, because I don't know which way we would really go and where the value is going to be. Not having that top tier draft capital it's really limiting, and we don't really need a lot on defense. I need Randy Gregory to just be healthy. Can I wave a magic wand and have that happen?
I'm gonna disagree with you there, Chief. I think we need to have some surprising needs on defense.
I would say edge. Yeah.
Well, okay.
Just to chime in with the devil's advocate.
I'll
what you're
grant
saying
you
now.
that. I'll grant you that. We could probably use another guy in the rotation. But like where?
Edge and
if
corner.
we're like saying like this is my crush, I don't really have anybody like day 3. Frankie would have eliminated somebody, I'm sure.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't see like a Nick Benito available where we're going to be drafting.
Yeah, and that's actually even been some conversation is that, say Nick Benito came out in this particular class, where would he have fallen? Because this edge class is a little bit deep in that regard. So it's just one that like, where would he have fallen? Would he have been a very early day 3 pick? Like that's just one of the things that is just kind of the nature of the beast, if you will. So let's go ahead and bring the simulator to its focus, to the stream. And as we said, we'll be using
we're in a simulator now.
That's right. We are in a simulator.
I think I see Keanu Reeves in a different method actor format, just lurking around the next corner.
All right. So basically, if you guys are looking at it from the perspective of the simulator, we are not going to be turbo. in terms of the speed and overall of this draft. We're going to be just a little bit of a tick above slow, and right in that nice little medium, and just a tick under fast, if you will. But one thing that before we get started on this would necessarily be tight end as well. I think tight end is a wild card within this in that position, especially considering how deep it is. So should we get started?
Let's do it.
I don't
All
want
right.
to tell you like who my crushes are because I want it to be a natural reaction when I lose my voice pounding the table for them.
All right. So we are going to click start draft right now.
That's
All
still
right.
damn fast.
It is what it's not turbo. It is absolutely not turbo.
So much better than turbo. Ooh, did Kincaid just go in the first round? Damn.
Looks like Zay Flowers just got drafted by the Kansas City
Jahmyr
Chiefs.
Gibbs. Joe Tippmann, damn it.
Jack Campbell.
Did
All right,
Jingleheimer Schmidt go? I didn't see it.
He did.
He did, yes.
I hate this. We picked
All right.
so late.
So for the listeners, if you guys and watchers of the Manely Broncos podcast, it looks like
Can you move us to the top of the screen?
Yeah,
Do you have the ability to do that?
Question. I don't think we can.
Because
I
can't.
I can do
There
that.
we go. That's
fine.
better.
I'll just
Okay.
squint. Okay. So right off the bat here, I'm actually agreeing with the simulator. I'm saying corner and center are kind of the two that I want to look at. Although I have another guy, but I who's available at center?
Who is available at center? He says.
Because I know, my main guys are just interior. offensive line.
IOL.
Yeah. Oh God. This is why we should have signed someone in free agency.
Yep.
In this particular
I'm out
simulator,
there.
yeah.
Yeah, never mind.
Can't we
Never
still go
mind.
get Ben Jones?
Probably yes, you
Yes,
can.
for real, please. Let's do it, please. Okay. Yeah, that sucks.
As
I
far
don't
as
know. Cameron, what do you think?
as far as top overall players, just real quick, Tanner McKee, Tank Dell, Garrett Williams, who the Broncos have met with,
I do like Garrett Williams.
Nick Herbig, Trevius Hodges Tomlinson,
Your
Zach
boy. That's your boy.
Charbonnet, who has been getting some pub, for the Broncos. He's like a poor man's Javonte Williams a little bit, from Michigan, transfers over to UCLA, a little bit of a bowling ball, potentially a 3-down running back, in the future.
Are you a
Andre
Stormberg
Carter.
fan, Bawana? I actually don't know anything about him, but I'm literally in on the name alone.
What?
Stormberg. That sounds incredible. I know nothing about him as a player, but just that name, I want him.
There's Jamie Robinson, a guy that we talked about obviously on the last show. Isaiah McGuire is another one.
Show me this on your edge.
All right, we're going to be on the edge of our seat on this one.
I'm already on the edge of my seat.
So it looks like Andre Carter, Carl Brooks from Bowling Green, Byron.
Oh my
Young.
God! Did my boy go and I didn't see it? No. Keep scrolling. Yeah, he's gone. Oh no, he's still there. Okay.
Zach Harrison is there.
This is the part in the draft where I think consensus doesn't weigh as heavily. And Peyton has proven if he finds a guy he likes, Sean Payton, that is. If he has a guy he likes, he's just going to take him, and other people's consensus be damned. So if you got a guy, you got a guy.
I have two guys and we have two picks. So let me just throw this out at you, and I want to see what you guys think and what the chat thinks here. So I've been very vocal and literally just vocal about we need a center, but that's not happening because all the guys that I wanted are gone. I also saw that Cody Mouch went earlier, who was someone I would be looking at tackle if he was still there.
Mm-hmm.
The only other guy that I'm looking at a tackle is like more of a sleeper. So I'm not really just for shits and giggles, show me the tackles.
All right. The tackle position.
Tackle.
Wanya Morris from the Oklahoma Sooners, Blake Freeland, Tyler Steen,
Okay.
Jalen Duncan.
Yeah, Jalen Duncan is one of those guys, but I wouldn't pick him here. He's on my list though. Okay, so I'm gonna make a pitch here for something that contradicts something Maddie just said like 2 minutes ago. Which I love you, Maddie. But Maddie said that defense is not as much of a need, and I don't actually disagree with you. I just think it is a need. I think offense is more of a need, but I'm going to make the argument that we should go defense here.
Defense.
And the guys that I'm wanting here are Zach Harrison and Garrett Williams. I don't even care what order you're going.
Clayton is
Clayton
Clayton says safety, and actually Bawana Beast makes a really interesting point and something to certainly monitor as training camp and even say at this point in the offseason, rolls around. But Christopher Allen. Anybody that doesn't know about Christopher Allen, he was a guy that was down there at Alabama and played alongside Will Anderson. Got hurt very, very early on, but he was a beast with Alabama, and it almost makes you wonder if he didn't sustain that injury, where would he have been drafted? Like, would he have been drafted in, say, the early stages, like within, say, like that day 2 and early day 3 pick? Like it truly makes you wonder. So yeah, definitely do not sleep and do not forget about a guy like a Christopher Allen.
My concern with Christopher, I like Christopher Allen. I believe Christopher Allen, didn't he have the largest guaranteed signing of any undrafted rookie
He did.
in that class? Yeah. So Christopher Allen is interesting to me, but he's still pretty unproven.
Mm-hmm.
My biggest concern too with him, he already had that injury last year. He played in one game in 2021 because he has season-ending foot injury as well. So it's just question marks, just so many question marks there. I like the guy. I like the player. I would likes to see him have more of a role. I think he can still have more of a role. Like, even if we take an edge, like not even Zach Harrison, if we take an edge, they're going to be a rookie still, right?
Yeah.
And who knows what's going to happen with the rest of that room? Who knows what's going to happen with the contracts that we've given out in that room? So I like Christopher Allen. I'm worried about the injury because he's had more than one injury.
Let's go a little bit on the offensive here, and let's take a gander at some of the other positions. I know we mentioned Zach Charbonnet, but just out of curiosity, let's look at some of those other positions and positions of, should we say popularity's sake?
Would you take a running back here?
That's what I was going to go with. I was going to go with running back and tight end. Those were the two positions that I was. So we do have Charbonnet, Tank Bigsby, Keandre Miller, and I. By the way, I do think for whatever it's worth, some of these players and backs are just a little bit ranked lower on Pro Football Focus's board than some others. Just FYI, meaning Tyjae Spears, Sean Tucker is another one. Deuce Vaughn, is there, meaning the possibility if you wanted to get, say, like a Sean Tucker or Deuce Vaughn, you could get them a little bit later, say like at pick, 108 or whatever.
Where Sean Johnson already go? I didn't see it.
No,
he's still there. I was like, damn, that would have been
Roshan Johnson also is the value.
Yeah. So
I think he's gonna be my late guy.
And then as far as a tight end, this is the fascinating one because tight end is a very deep class. So Tucker Kraft, Luke Schoonmaker, Davis Allen, Zach Kuntz from Old Dominion, Payne Durham, Will Mallory, Cameron Latu, I think, was the guy that maybe the Broncos have spoken to or something. So
a lot of these names, if I'm being honest, are like, I would definitely consider them
waiting
a lot later. Yeah. The only if I was going to go offense here, I'm agreeing that I would like to take a running back. The biggest thing I'd want to look at on offense, Show me the receivers.
Ooh, yep, of course. If one, so obviously for starters, we can see Tank Dell right here at
Stud.
44. Yeah. So
Oh yeah, absolute monster.
Michael Wilson from Stanford, Rashee Rice, who the Broncos apparently have a top 30 visit with. Rashee Rice, Cedro.
Oh man, Rashee Rice is a monster. A.T. Perry, I love that guy.
Not to mention Cedric Tillman.
There's some names here.
Marvin Mims, Jaden Reed, Trey
Palmer.
God, there's so much to like.
So let me just toss out this little nugget at you. Let me look at the our next pick is at 108 after these two.
Mm-hmm.
So decent amount of time going off the board here. Okay.
What are you trying to say? Is like maybe you're almost half tempted to go defense.
I would be honestly wouldn't be mad if we went wide receiver and then a defensive player. And I would be pretty happy with like Tank Dell or Rashee Rice, honestly. And then if I had to pick one of the two that I mentioned, God.
I would probably go Tank
Williams. No, I'm talking about like at defense. If we were going to take one of these wide receivers and then we were going to take a defensive player, like as I mentioned two before, I'd probably say one of these wide receivers and then Garrett Williams, just because I think cornerback is a bit more of a need than edge. Although I think edge is still a very big need, and I freaking love Zach Harrison, and I would love to still get him. But I wouldn't be mad.
Maybe get him at 108.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well. We could maybe get that's true. We could maybe get Harrison at 108. I do not think we'd get Williams at 108.
Yeah, that's the risk, and that was actually what I was going to ask Maddie too. Is like, you get Garrett Williams, you get Garrett Williams, and say the wide receiver, that you really want, right? So you could go with that route, or you can go out and truly draft Zach Harrison at a risk.
Does this imply a potential Cortland Sutton trade for Budda Baker here?
I mean, you could trade Cortland Sutton. He's available to trade in the simulator in the Matrix.
Because that's the big rumor, and obviously his connection to our now defensive coordinator. So that's an option. I'm not saying to do it, but if you go Tank Dell here, you can make that trade. That opens an opportunity for Dell. We're going to get Patrick back anyway. Like, I don't know that our depth really takes that big of a hit. We get another impact player on defense. That's an option. And then you shore it up with the corner from Syracuse, and then we're kind of set on the back end.
What is it?
Well, my biggest, like, even if we're not trading wide receiver, I think wide receiver is going to sneakily maybe become a need fairly soon. I mean, it's a good room, but I don't think you're ever I don't think you can really ever have too many unless you unless you know that they're elite. Like, if they've proven that they're elite players, then I think you're good. But guys like KJ Hamler, I love KJ Hamler, but like, who knows, what's he going to be like? He's coming off a major injury. We have no idea. The only let me finish this quick thought, and then I'll throw it back to you. The only other kind of thing I can see here of like why I would not maybe look at wide receiver is this team is clearly shifting its identity to run.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I also, though, could make a case that you want to build up a great wide receiver room, give Russ all the possible options to succeed. If he fails again, he fails with Sean Payton, he fails with all these weapons, you want to have a great room of weapons for the guy that you might have to replace him with.
So, two things I was going to say is, if they draft Tank Dell, I don't think that, it's a surefire thing that they trade a wide receiver, even with an addition of Tank Dell, because of the fact that I would just say that's more about putting a guy like KJ Hamler on notice than it is anything else. And plus, let's not forget they signed Marquez Callaway. So, I mean, Marquez Callaway is a guy that, he very well could be a high-end 3, maybe even a 2, depending on, where he certainly fits. And so that could be your extra insurance and, finally nips the butt of all that.
Marquez Callaway is a solid wide receiver.
So, frankly, if I'm curious what the chat thinks in the comments, but I'm really curious about taking Nathaniel Dell or Tank Dell and drafting Garrett Williams to basically your point, because I really don't think taking Tank Dell takes you out of it.
So let me just run this by you and the chat. Why are you going Dell? I have nothing against Dell. What makes you lean Dell over like Rashee Rice?
Didn't he score 17 touchdowns last year?
Rashee Rice scored 10 on less receptions and basically the same amount of yards. I mean, it's all about context, right?
Yeah, no, agree. My thing is just, for as small as he is, the productivity that he put forth in that kind of offense, you can't script that. Like that is something that is just, he is like that kind of wide receiver, and he's so productive, and he allows you to basically give yourself the wide receiver that probably you should have had with a KJ Hamler that can, be, that do it all for you wide receiver in that sense. Like, he can be that, end around wide receiver, the guy that, can be a gadget wide receiver in that sense. And plus, if you keep Judy at that, along with that, I mean, you're going to talk about 2 players that have arguably one of the best separations, as far as a dynamic duo in the National Football League.
My only knock against Tank Dell is, and this is unfair to him, and this is personal bias, he just gives me KJ Hamler vibes. Like, smaller guy, shifty, some kind of speed concerns, injury concerns. I don't know. I just like, I don't hate him by any means. Like, I think he's good. I just think, like, if you're looking, depending on what you're looking for, if God forbid you're maybe looking at getting rid of Cortland Sutton, Rashee Rice is ironically also came from SMU. Rashee Rice
True.
has the size and ability. He's kind of Cortland Sutton a little bit. Which I'm not. I like Cortland Sutton. I'm just thinking.
I'll tell you what.
What is he doing? So I'm okay with either of them. I just want to know what you think.
Let's make our life easier, though. And if we're going to draft Garrett Williams, let's just do it now. So we'll.
I'm okay with taking Garrett Williams. 100% love that pick.
So we'll take Garrett Williams now, and now
I'll just.
Well, I will say this though. If we're going to talk about wide receiver, Maddie, what do you feel about, say, like a Cedric Tillman? Because I know that again, and then a Marvin Mims as well. But I mean, like a Cedric Tillman, I know you're talking about, Cortland Sutton. There's still Cedric Tillman out there too.
I mean, I'd love Mims. He's ranked here at 109. So if average draft position doesn't matter as much, and we have our board like 108, that's perfect value for him there. Provides a lot of what you need. Super reliable receiver. And I am biased, but I know what he can provide. And Lincoln Riley typically doesn't feature a wide receiver. And last year was a transition year for the Sooners. So like Marvin Mims set records here in the state of Texas. So I love him there. If we can't get him, there are other guys available potentially. Where's that kid from Nebraska? Parker?
Palmer. He's at 130.
Palmer, excuse me. So like he's a fallback option at 108. And lightning fast receiver.
He actually might be the gamble at 108 versus.
That's the one thing I was about to say is, like, if we're also looking at who could we still maybe take at 108, I would be elated if we got him at 108.
So let me phrase this then. Obviously, it's not necessarily the Pro Football Focus mock draft, but it's also what we think is going to happen at that same token. How about we do Brandon's logic in that we take Garrett Williams and we take Zach Harrison at pick 68, because it's probably more than likely going to be within this, in this range where Zach Harrison is going to fall.
I think
Depth is depth. I love it. I'm on board, dude.
I think you can also look at it's my idea. I love it. I think you can look too, though, at the names of wide receivers that are still available. Like, there's probably going to be some wide receiver needy teams between here and 108, although not a ton.
Yeah.
There's some guys that are falling down that, like, people that are taking Tank Dell or any of these other guys in like the 70s are going to be, that's going to be like, they're going to love that. So I think it's fairly likely that he could be there 108.
I tell you, I'm more about the thing of like Zach Harrison. It may be a reach according to this particular mock, but like I am 100% okay. And even Tomlinson,
I mean, we're
too,
in the third round. Like,
yeah,
does reaches even exist here?
Right.
I mean, that's where I said, consensus kind of be damned. It's like you have your guys,
yeah,
and you get your guys when you can.
There's even Carl Brooks as well. Who's
Hendon
another
Hooker, like, damn, you want to throw a dart? Just kidding.
You're right. Yeah.
If he's there at 108, we got to consider it.
Right.
Honestly, for real.
So is this the consensus? We're going with Zach Harrison.
I love it. What does the chat think?
Yeah.
Chat, help us out.
By the way, Bawana Beast, I would imagine he was referring to Marvin Mims. Maddie,
or highlighting wide receiver at 108, potentially his value.
Yeah. So it looks like Clayton is on board.
All right.
With saying let's go. Probably wait for another one to kind of roll in, but yeah. And the other thing too is like I also feel like 108 would be your sweet spot for the offensive side of things. Like, it doesn't necessarily have to be, say, a wide receiver, but like that could be your sweet spot for guys like Sean Tucker, maybe a Tyjae Spears.
Got the green light. Thanks, Ray. Let's go.
Yo, if it's Tyjae Spears or Palmer at 108, kill me. I can't do that.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I want to get out. I want to get out of the elevator.
What if we got Palmer at 108 and Deuce Vaughn at 139? Like,
it's not out. It's not out of the realm of possibility. I'm not. We've seen weird things happen. All right. So Zach Harrison,
if Will McDonald is here, I would be thinking about it. But
no, for sure.
Yeah, Zach Harrison. I love this draft so far, man.
Let's go.
Are a Denver Bronco. Zach Charbonnet and Hendon Hooker were Tank Dell went to Houston.
His ranking is way too low on PFF. That's ridiculous.
Rice
Rice
went to
Mims went to the Bills.
They get to dust off what they're
Tyjae Spears. Damn it! Well, they're at least it's going to be easier for me.
Whoa.
Okay.
Tyjae Spears. Who did we go to?
Oh my!
That's terrifying. God, that would be so much fun.
Oh, yay. We got Christian McCaffrey out of the game. But wait.
Yeah. Oh, man.
Hey, man, Christian McCaffrey has to sit on the bench at some point.
That said, though,
that would be ridiculous.
Now it gets interesting.
So who's there running?
Sean Tucker, Deuce Vaughn, Roshan Johnson. Don't keep that name in the back of your mind.
It's there.
I just meant if we don't take it back at 108, that's like maybe one of your biggest gambles.
Oh, it's been there.
Yeah. So I mean,
Rashawn Johnson, man, people looking at Bijan too much. Well, so this is looking at this right now too. This is again like I'm kind of employing the same thought process.
There it is.
I'm employing the same thought process as I did with the last pick. In that go back to running back for a second. There's guys at running back. Which again, I'm okay with that being the next, because we just went defense. I'm okay with that even being like one of the next focuses. There's guys here that Chase Brown. There's guys here
Gray.
I would be interested in looking at
Alvin Conda
in our next pick. Just for Clayton, let's look at safety.
Safety.
Because actually, I mean, you already know I have a guy at safety that I'm.
JL
Skinner is your boy.
Actually, that's Frankie's boy. But yeah,
Or that was Frankie's boy. Yeah. Is Jartavius Martin there? He probably should. He probably is.
actually, they had him at a corner.
Oh, they had him at corner. What?
Riley Moss. There. Yeah,
Did he go?
he must have went.
Some team is a genius.
So
Okay. I mean, I'm on board with Palmer at this pick. Like, I'm in.
you don't need to tell me twice.
What is it? Chat. You guys okay with going wide receiver?
Let me ask you guys this, and safety's been brought up. How do we feel about Caden Stearns?
I love Caden Stearns. I want Caden Stearns to play so many snaps. That's how I feel about Caden Stearns.
So get the money badger on the field. Got it.
Pretty much.
Well,
Okay.
I mean, and I mean, I realize
Is he even full time? Sorry, is he going to be full time starter? Even I don't know, but I want him to play more snaps because he deserves it.
Well, but I was going to say too, and even though Father Time may have caught up with him in 2022, I'm not opposed to giving Kareem that other deal that he basically signed in the offseason last year, which is like a 1 year,
1 for 5.
Yeah, 1 for 5 to be like, hey, just come back again, you know, because especially with the tight end Vance Joseph, that's something you at least have to keep in the back of your mind. And especially like when you have a player like that, he knows his market, he knows everything, you know, that's going to be, said for him. And Dalton Reisner might even be the same thing. And this is something we even mentioned on Manly before, but like just pitching the idea about him as center. So,
Kareem Jackson every year in Denver, he just pass and go. 1 year, $5 million. 1 year, $5 million. Just take it.
We did that to Melvin Gordon, and we did it to Kareem. If it was me, I'm going the Big Ten route, and I'm choosing between Jaden Reed and Trey Palmer. That's kind of like what I'm going with. If we're gonna go wide receiver,
Really, Jaden Reed.
Jaden Reed is like a Tyler Lockett.
I mean, Tyler Lockett is Tyler Lockett, but I see what you're saying. I'm kidding. I'm messing with you.
I
I
think we could maybe go, if we want to go tight end, we can wait till 195 probably. Mm-hmm. We can maybe take a late flyer on filler lineman there. We definitely need an impact player. I think wide receiver at 108, running back at 139 is probably our best bang for our buck.
I'd almost say 108, and you could even flip-flop it for all I care. Wide receiver at 139 and running back at 1. Yeah.
I don't think Trey Palmer's last on the 139.
No, and there are several backs that we still like. I say we go Palmer here.
All right. You don't, like I said, you don't need to tell me twice.
That would be my pick, but if you guys want to do something else.
By the way,
my original idea.
By the way, Clayton, we took an edge. We took an edge at pick 68 with Zach Harrison going back to the Ohio State University and drafting Zach Harrison.
Yeah, we double dipped in defense.
All right. So Trey Palmer, you are reunited with the Joseph family being.
I just feel like that's going to happen. Like this is going to happen in a couple weeks.
I'm telling you, I might be the only person that has actually even brought up that topic because people forget about the fact that, like, you know, Mickey Joseph was like his assistant.
Oh, Deuce Vaughn went. Damn it. Sorry.
You know,
so close.
So
who did he go to? New England? Sorry, I'm interrupting you.
Of course he would.
Oh no, Panthers.
No, Panthers. I don't know why I saw the New England.
I like the fit.
Wildcats.
It's not.
That's actually the Panthers are kind of scary.
Oh,
they're doing things.
Oh, I would be so okay with Chase Brown. Who else is there? Who else is here?
Muhammad Ibrahim. He's not getting a lot of love, and a
lot of tread and injury concerns.
Yeah,
he's a stud when he's on the field, but
yeah,
they rode the hell out of him in college.
Yeah, I would be surprised if where he gets drafted. I actually mean that, but like anybody that truly followed Minnesota, he was like their workhorse, and I would be really curious to know where he falls because he's a guy like I could easily see him going in this range to like the 7th round, truly just because of all that tread on the tires. But he was so good at Minnesota.
If you want to take if you're like confident in what our running back room is going to be like once we recover from injury, and you're like, I just want to give me a late round flyer on a guy, come in, make a good impact, and maybe just kind of stick around, but you don't really need a running back.
Yeah.
Wait a couple rounds and take him, and you're golden.
Oh, by the way, that also reminds me, Roshan Johnson went as well.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you where he went.
And he went to the Vikings. Interesting.
Oh, let's go.
Oh,
Bring on
man.
Dalvin Cook.
Dalvin Cook, man.
Hold on.
Go.
Hold on.
Don't get injured.
On.
He won't come back.
On. How are we feeling about this? So we go here to the Minnesota Vikings. You select a player.
We're going to do this, aren't we?
I'm out.
We're going to do it.
I want to get out.
So you're telling me that Jerry Jeudy said, I want number 4 bad, but I'm not going to pay for it, and we're going to trade for somebody who's just going to take number 4 instead? Okay.
No, I'm not giving Jerry Jeudy with Justin Jefferson. I ain't that cruel,
No, I'm saying Dalvin Cook's going to come take number 4.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
And Jeudy won't be able to get it.
All right. So what we feeling? Dalvin Cook for what picks? We can go through
none of them.
I
don't want it. I'm out. I'm getting out. Let me out.
Well, the issue is the money.
The issue is the money and the injury. I mean, Dalvin Cook is good, but he doesn't play it. Oh, okay. He misses games.
Can we just do the Buda Baker trade?
And I like Dalvin Cook. I wanted Dalvin Cook to be. I wanted us to draft Dalvin Cook.
Are we in the sweet spot for?
Also, they might just cut him.
Yeah, that's the other thing too.
Well, Dalvin, yes. Buda Baker.
Dalvin, yes. Buda Baker is not going to get cut.
By the way, Clayton chimes in on the chat and he says,
"What if we trade back?"
He said, "Interesting thought. What if we trade back now?"
I wish we had a trade on the table.
Yeah,
I wish somebody was trying to trade up for this. I'd be down to move back and get maybe a late 5th and a 7th or something, just to give us 2 for 1 here. But I don't even know who I would.
I don't. Yeah. I was going to say the only person if we're going to trade back, I'd probably go after Israel.
Well, and
but
we'd also.
I don't know who else, to be honest. We're reaching territory of.
Well,
there's only so many names I know.
Well, I mean, Juice Scruggs could give us good depth on the inside.
Well, and that's the thing I was going to say is center is just another position that
center's a dart thrown here. It just picks something you like.
Right.
To be honest, the position for us and Ricky Stromberg, there we go. That's a good guy. I like him at 195 if he's available.
Maybe that's the route we go at 195.
Yeah, Clayton, I like the 2 for 1 idea. I just don't know how we'd execute it. But that's the right idea. And I could honestly see George doing something like that.
I would be surprised if we didn't trade out in this draft.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would even
at some point.
Well, I was going to say we took a player at 67 and 68. That's probably your sweet spot as far as the
I
trade.
hope not. Please, I want the back-to-back. I want excitement.
But I was going to say selfish. Yeah, I agree with you, Brandon, because it's like I like the idea of going back, especially with how bad you were and being in the top 100. I kind of like the idea of being back-to-back with that.
Yeah, getting 2 top 100 players, nothing waited out there.
Because we waited literally forever to get to that point for our first pick. So
speaking of waiting forever, what's the route that we're going to go with 139?
Well,
I mean, I'm definitely okay if we went with Chase Brown.
That's fine.
I mean, in the 5th round, that's fine.
He was.
What's the risk?
Brandon can kind of attest. That's the player that's a want for me. It was Deuce Vaughn. It's between Deuce Vaughn and Chase Brown.
If Deuce Vaughn was still here, I would say take Deuce Vaughn.
Okay. Hey, wax poetic for
just give me one of the Illinois players. Come on.
On Chase Brown. Tell me,
Okay.
tell me what we should be looking for and
So-
what a player comp is.
So I won't necessarily go with
Raheem
a player. No. Yeah.
Totally kidding. Go ahead.
But if you guys are listeners of the Manly Broncos podcast, you guys can actually, if you guys tune back into the last show that I had with Frankie, and at the very end of it, I did talk a little bit about Chase Brown, and I'll say it again, and that is, if Blake Corum didn't have the Heisman campaign that he did with Michigan in the Big Ten, Chase Brown will be getting the same amount of love that Corum has had. He is a productive back. He's a pass-catching back out of the backfield. Frankly, I'm a little bit surprised that he lasted this long. He's productive. I think he's definitely got, I really do think that, he's a guy that we need to watch out for. And frankly, the best way I can probably say for Chase, the way he runs, I don't know about you guys, Brandon, I don't know about you, but like he almost runs, and this is just the way his stylistic running style, he almost runs like Philip Lindsay, but he's like 6 foot taller, or like he's like 6 feet.
6 feet taller than Philip Lindsay. Damn.
So
he's just a taller version of Philip Lindsay.
The reason go ahead.
I was gonna say, meanwhile, Deuce Vaughn is Philip Lindsay, but he's 5 foot, 5'6". So yeah.
Chase Brown is if Javonte Williams is the Thunder, Chase Brown is the Lightning. Javonte Williams is the guy who's going to drag 20 defenders. Chase Brown's the one who's just going to run past all of them because he's big. He's like 205. He's only 5'9", but he's 205. But he's fast. Like he only ran a 4.4 340, which is like
But he can,
like,
he can
whatever.
pack
But who cares? It doesn't even matter. That has nothing to do with like pad speed. This guy is just a blur.
pad speed is a different animal. I mean, Antonio Brown ran a 4.68 or something, and nobody could catch
most
him in
overrated
space. So
statistic in athletic profiling.
So Chase Brown it is?
sure,
Chase
I mean,
Brown it is.
Chase is a perfect name for a running back, right?
They're just going to chase him all over the field.
That's right. So Juice just got drafted. Charlie Jones went to San Francisco. Why does that not surprise me?
Redmond's good value.
Oh,
there.
Israel went to. I never got to pronounce his last name.
Stromberg went in the 5th round. Come on.
What were you looking at, Cameron? Oh, it's going to keep going. Toby, yeah.
This pick. Dorian Thompson Robinson, who wanted to go quarterback, went to Tampa.
That's fun.
That's fun.
He's not going to play.
Evan Hull went to Los Angeles. Stetson. Oh, wow. Stetson
Oh, my God.
went to the Commanders.
The new Heineke. Let's go.
The insurance salesman.
All right. So what we feeling here with the last pick?
Well, go to the top overall, and let's just kind of like scroll down for a minute and just see who's like around here.
The Cincinnati product, a tight end. Are you talking about? Who's that? Who's the tight end Brawan is talking about from Cincinnati?
Like a 3rd rounder.
I was gonna say, didn't he go? Like he was already taken.
Oh, I do like the idea of Payne Durham. Payne Durham is more of like your Eric Saubert, more of a little bit of a well-rounded tight end at that. He's not explosive.
Josh Weil, I think. But
Yeah, Josh Weil.
I'm pretty sure he went
6'6", 245.
Yeah. You come to does he show up, and if you search him and search all players, does he like show what team he went to, or is that only available players?
It does say search all players. Do you know how to
WHYLE?
WH.
Yeah, it only shows available players. Oh well.
Okay. Yeah.
Did we have a trade offer?
We do.
We have two
We
trade
do have a
offers.
trade off.
So I'm not sure how we can see the
I
trade.
can't tell what they're offering.
Yeah, I can't either. But it looks like one of them might be the Giants. But,
Well,
I mean,
it's definitely the Giants, but it doesn't have anything highlighted.
no, except for, say like their next pick of 209,
That's
240.
not helpful.
Yeah.
All right. So can we do a recap for what we've picked so far?
Yes. So to recap what we have picked, we started off. We full disclosure, we've not made any trades. We were going to try and do trades. We've not made any. But we went with Garrett Williams and Zach Harrison was 67 and 68, and then we went offensive with Trey Palmer. And then we drafted Chase Brown with the very next pick. And this is where we currently sit at pick 195.
I love this draft so far.
I'm going to say that we need to get an offensive lineman somewhere.
Okay.
I don't know, interior or tackle spot.
This would be like an ideal spot. So I don't know what the chat feels like, but like this would be like an ideal spot to give Zach Streif like that developmental tackle that he could work with and, say post Garrett Bowles, maybe that's a starter down the line. Or that's going to be like your pinch replacement for Calvin Anderson.
We could also just go interior offensive line and that person could swing or fit in a pinch.
Or pitch.
In case that we have like injury or whatnot.
There's John Gaines.
Who's there at tackle? Did you look at tackle and I missed it?
Tackle. Well, it looks like I did. Looks like I did interior.
Unselect.
Actually, we could show both of them.
There we go. So Warren McClendon.
This is like undrafted players territory. Like we could probably pick up some of
these
these guys.
This is so I don't know if chat saw this. The chat saw this, but you have Warren McClendon and McClendon Curtis back to back. That's funny.
His first name is McClendon.
Yeah,
that's interesting.
Yeah,
that's got to be a family thing.
I bet the family's like, well, his last name is Curtis, so let's give him something that sounds like a last name.
All right, the first person to pronounce this name.
Malesala Amve Laulu. Excuse me.
Actually, not a bad guess.
Yeah, those tackles don't really get it.
Except for Warren McClendon, but that's... I'm kind of feeling... the other route is going defensive and going like defensive line, like interior defensive line.
That works too.
We could look at... What was the interior offensive line again? I didn't see those.
So Jake Andrews, John Gaines, Forsyth.
Actually, Forsyth is kind of interesting.
All right, let's look into Jack Coletto.
Oh,
where's Jack Coletto?
Let's. Hopefully, he's not.
No,
the two teams.
Gone. He would be showing up right now, and he's not.
I wonder where he went. It's too far up, but I wonder where he went.
This would have been the perfect pick for Stromberg.
Yeah.
I'm saying he had to freaking go around early.
They forfeit. Oh, what?
I don't know.
Was it something to do with like the Brian Flores situation?
Maybe. Wow, did he go high?
I don't know.
Overshown. Why does that feel like such a Cleveland
it's Marion Overshown? Oh, damn it.
That feels like such a Cleveland Browns pick. I'm not gonna lie. Where did he go? Huh. I don't know where he went.
Who is it?
Coletto.
Inside backer. Is that what his official classification is?
Or is he not even ranked in here?
Or
I think it might also. Doesn't he kind of play fullback sometimes? Like he might be labeled as a
He plays-
fullback.
he plays like all the things. He's like Taysom Hill.
They don't have really a fullback in here.
Did he?
Type in Jack.
Run home, Jack.
Okay. That's it.
Hmm.
Yeah, I don't know.
But so what do we feel about interior defensive
Anyway.
line?
Who else is there?
So interior defensive line. Jonah Tavai, Jacob Slade. This is just best player available.
Yeah.
Troy Brown, no relation to the wide receiver from the New England Patriots. Ventrell Miller, who, if I'm not mistaken, Ventrell Miller had a visit with the Denver Broncos. Kenny McIntosh, not that we would go another back, but Antonio Maffei, Payne Durham, Aiden O'Connell. I guess quarterback would be an interesting one if we wanted to go quarterback. Ronnie Bell from Michigan. Isaiah Land, the freaky athlete from Florida A&M.
Hey, we like
Man,
Raz,
I don't
right?
know.
Hey, no, let's see what his Raz score.
Yeah, he was freaky. If I remember right,
Land.
he had like one of the craziest what is it, the performances at the combine.
814. I mean, if he had a high RAS score, that fits.
He had 25 and a half tackles for a loss and 19 sacks last year. Oh, that was 2021.
Jaron Hall.
That's insane.
There is Jaron Hall and Max Duggan.
Oh
teach
my
me
God,
how to
Max
Duggan. Teach me how to Duggan.
Man, I don't know. I'm down for whatever here. This is like
honestly
territory of
just I don't hate Duggan.
I
don't hate Duggan here.
I don't either. I kind of like the quarterback idea. Not to mention,
let's do it. Let's get weird.
Not to mention Connor Payton is there at TCU. Let's get weird. As a graduate assistant. So we feeling Jaron Hall or Max Duggan? Jaron Hall. Jaron Hall is like 6 feet. So like maybe a decent, player to kind of sit under Russ. But then Max Duggan, he's like I feel like he's just a higher ceiling of what Taysom Hill was. Because it's like Duggan actually has a ceiling to where he probably could be a quarterback in the NFL. Taysom Hill, you had like no idea what he would do. So Duggan?
I'm okay with that. I'm okay with Duggan.
Get ready for the biggest F that we're about to see in terms of grade.
Oh, man.
Who cares?
Isaiah Land had an 8.6 on the RAS score.
Yeah.
We could take Land and then take Duggan.
No, we're done.
I highly doubt Duggan would be there.
Duggan.
Oh, is this the last one?
Unsigned guy.
Oh. Screw it. Let's take Duggan.
Okay. Teach me how to Dougie.
Teach me how to Duggan. I'm very interested in that guy, though.
I am. What was it that you saw from him just watching Big 12, Maddie? Like, what was it that you just kind of just saw?
Dude is a gamer. He can get hit in the mouth and hit in the mouth and hit in the mouth, and he still comes. Like,
he's like less cocky Baker Mayfield.
That's pretty much everyone on the planet. He's less cocky than Baker Mayfield.
No, he's Baker Mayfield, but less cocky.
And I say that lovingly because Baker's that dude. Just Duggan, yeah, it would have been nice to trade back.
Another one would have been fun. Trade in, like
maybe that could be next week. Maybe we find a way to get into the first round somehow.
Yep.
I knew they were going to hate our draft, but that's okay.
Where is the
Get the Zach
Harrison F? No, fuck you, PFF. Yeah.
Oh man.
Trey Palmer, no, I'm out.
C-.
This is stupid.
Yeah, until Trey Palmer freaking
takes
has a 75-yard touchdown.
Yeah. Yeah. One thing that I think would be a interesting trade back scenario is that like at this particular point and like we can take it off now. But like, one of the things that like I think would be fun, and as far as like once we're at like that particular point and that late, I wonder if the Broncos just start to kind of do a feel out process with Albert Okwuegbunam, right? Because like I feel like that 5th to 7th round, and with where he's at, probably would be that right sweet spot. Like to potentially trade him to some team. So maybe like looking back on it, to kind of trade. Yes, we did. But also we know that like
watch out, George, we're coming for your job.
That's right.
That was a badass draft. Come on.
I think that would be bad.
I'm super good with that draft.
Me too.
I will say, the Pro Football Focus grades, they're like teachers, they just have bad grades every once in a while. That's basically what, you just get bad teachers that give out some bad grades, and Pro Football Focus just gives out bad grades. I mean, that's kind of like what we're dealing with here. They just gave out really, really bad grades. And also it feels like when you do really, really good on an assignment, you feel really, really good about the assignment, and yet you still fail.
That was me.
Hey, that's me at life.
I mean that too.
That's me at life. I'm like, hey, I crushed it today. No, you sucked.
So one of the things that and Brandon, Maddie and I would do this sometimes, like when we would do a mock draft like this. But so when you look back at this, when you go back and you look at this, your favorite pick, if you were to, we get an encore. Did Ray?
Hey,
is Ray out here giving us an encore?
I say if we do that, which I'm totally down to do, we do kind of like a quasi lightning round with like.
Yeah, we should put it on ultra if we're doing that, or whatever that.
We're doing
setting is.
Turbo. We're gonna be like Arnold Schwarzenegger. We're gonna be like Turbo Man.
I would say my biggest heartbreak was at 139 not getting Deuce Vaughn.
Yeah,
that was me.
Although I do love Chase Brown.
We could get like freaky and like turn the settings up all the way high, and get first round talent at pick 67, 68.
No,
I mean honestly, 67 and 68 are my favorite. Like I know it's 2 picks, but that's my favorite. Just Garrett Williams, and Zach Harrison.
I mean, if we had Garrett Wilson, that wouldn't be.
I mean,
are my favorites.
Yeah,
67 and 68 are almost nice.
Wow. All right, let's do it again.
Real close. All right, let's do it.
I will say though, I wonder what it would have been like. Obviously, for their sake, we drafted Zach Harrison really high, but if this was the first 4 picks, right, I would not be upset at that like at all, right? Because that's Williams.
I don't even think so. I think Zach Harrison was drafted high according to PFF's big board, but the PFF's big board is shit.
Yeah.
That's 3 potential impact players and 1 rotational player.
All right. So we're going back here. So
let's do it again.
All right. So we are going to go Turbo 7, And now, because we are doing another mock, it's worth getting the feel of the people within the chat here, because this is the fun thing.
So they're not in on edge, so we're not going to go edge high.
So
Our
yeah,
first
so
two picks are not going to include edge.
let's do a little bit of
Do
a
that.
twist here, and do something that's not edge. Maybe we go tight end here with a little bit of a higher pick, right? But like, so one thing I want to point out here is that what would the people in the comments like to do? So there's public versus the Pro Football Focus board. So last time, I think what Brendan, before we started,
board sucks. So we'll go all the way down.
So maybe go like right here.
I would say care for positional value is much higher than that. It's got to
like
at least
here?
be like more than half.
More than half, yeah.
Like that.
I mean, yeah,
about
the
draft?
NFL cares about that.
What about draft for needs?
That's good enough.
I think that's fine.
Okay. Randomness, is that good?
We don't want it to be
No.
unrealistic.
I mean,
Like
Josh
that?
McDaniels is still in the league, so it's got to be somewhat random.
Like that.
That's enough randomness for Josh McDaniels.
Yeah, let's go. Let's get weird.
Well, weird is putting all the sliders, to the top.
Let's get real weird, not like really weird. Let's get real weird.
All right,
Realistically weird.
we are
Yeah,
officially
that's what I mean.
entering.
Which is just AKA the NFL draft.
What can I? There's only one thing we can say here because we're having a turbo draft. It's turbo time.
Oh God.
All right, so here we go. Get ready for fast.
This is ridiculous, guys.
Do,
Yeah.
Look at this shit.
Watch this, Maddie. Watch this.
It's already gone.
Oh, look at the familiar 2 picks.
Feels like we've been here before. Okay, what are the top picks?
Ooh, Luke Whippler. Oh
my God.
Yeah, Clayton, it was a little fast for me.
That's what I'm saying, Maddie. Like he was like,
hey, he wanted to do this on the real mock, and I told him to turn it down.
All right, chat. Offense or defense? Let's say that first.
looks like Clayton is on board with center.
Yeah, I'm definitely.
By the way,
let's start offense defense.
By the way, how freaky would this have been? Luke Musgrave just went 2 picks before ours.
I'm not taking Luke Musgrave at 67.
Well, look how high Cedric Tillman went. And Nick
who's
Herbert
there at wide receiver? Go to wide receiver.
So Tank, obviously.
Right.
By the way,
offensive. Okay.
it seems like Clayton was really liking that center.
Oh, I like that center as well.
So it looks like the same people: Rashee Rice, A.T. Perry, Mims, Palmer.
Let's do
Tank.
interior defensive lineman and corner. Let's see who's available. Because we're making 2 picks.
Garrett Williams is still there.
Yeah, we could even take Whippler for anybody that does want the center, like in the chat.
Oh, I would like. I would not be mad at Whippler.
What was the comments in the chat? Corner and interior defensive line.
Interior defensive lineman.
Corner and interior defensive line. Yeah.
There's Tomlinson. Be fun to, in spite of the Chargers, draft a Tomlinson. He's one of my other boys.
A Tomlinson from TCU.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. DJ
Turner. Oh.
Yeah.
Where's your Jatavius Martin?
I think we could wait. IDL. Let's go interior D.
IDL. I'm not in the DL.
Wow. Just for kicks, let's do interior defensive line, edge, and
DI. DI.
Ooh, Ojomo. Pickens.
Jervon Dexter.
Jervon Dexter. Jacqueline.
Jaqueline.
Jake Quellen. You say your name right.
Byron Young.
You mean Byron?
No, I just would pronounce it phonetically. Byron.
I'm kidding.
Byron.
Yeah. All right.
We could also go high on running back.
Edge.
Bilake. I want to see.
Let's just see who's available at edge here. Just for kicks and giggles, we're not going to go that way.
as well.
Carter would be the first player from Army to probably play in the. Now there's Byron Young,
All
Colby
right.
Wooden. There is Zach Harrison, who flunked our entire draft.
They're stupid. Well, who's it?
I feel like center's
Tackle.
going to be the guy.
Well, we could get center at 68 if we stay.
I just want to see who's there at tackle.
If it's Matthew Bergeron, I'm pounding the table. Wanya Morris.
Okay.
I'm not in on
It's the
him.
same guys. No, I'm out on this. I'm out on all this.
I mean, hey, if Matty is not wanting an Oklahoma tackle, then
Doesn't fit the profile we're going for.
what's chat saying?
Interior
Safety.
D line got grabbed early. Maybe look at safety. I agree, Ray.
Okay.
Running back, we got to get at least one. Offensive lineman, we need 1 to 2.
Clayton says safety.
Yeah, just look at the 80%.
Is Sydney there? Oh.
Battles, fun.
So anybody that doesn't know, Sidney Brown and Chase Brown are brothers, and they're both ballers. Yeah.
Illinois is too good, man. Mercy rule.
Jamie JL Skinner.
I'm super okay with. I mean, this isn't lightning round. I'm okay with doing.
Let's get Whippler
Luke
first.
Whippler. Yeah.
Okay. We're going to make him the center of the conversation. Just
Stop.
Whippler with a capital W. And then honestly, I think that we should still go with Williams at corner. But that's just me.
Yeah, I would do that too.
I was actually going with a little bit of more pizzazz and getting, Tomlinson, the TCU corner.
I don't want pizzazz.
The shorter corner. We need an outside corner.
He could, and then you got.
He's too short.
That's what they say. That's what they said about Jason Verrett. Now, granted, he can't stay healthy, but he's a pretty decent corner that came from TCU. There's also Jartavius Martin, FY.
Lightning round. We gotta quicken this up a bit.
I'm thinking wide
Williams.
receiver. I'm thinking about changing it up though, and I'm thinking, Bawana Beast says Sidney Brown and Luke Whippler.
I mean, I love Sidney Brown. I love it. But safety. I want Caden Stearns to play, man.
Well, this one I think is he's like.
But I'd be okay with it.
Sidney Brown just feels like a strong safety though.
Sidney Brown is.
Hold on just a second. Brandon Miller, can I draft you? I just saw your guns. Maybe you can go play a little bit. Look at those things. Dang, dude, you've been working
Don't let
on
Mario on the podcast. He'll be pissed.
Bawana says Clark Phillips.
Yesterday was leg day, actually.
Where was Utah.
right there.
If you,
This is go get your guy time. I mean, even if it's math in public like 16 picks higher, you just go get him. But
I mean, I'd be okay with Tomlinson if Cameron wants to get Tomlinson. Whatever.
He sounds
Get weird?
It's fine. I'm fine.
He sounds so
Just do whatever. Take
begrudgingly frustrated about it.
Take the lowest picked player.
There's also Devon A-Chain.
A-Train? Just kidding.
A-Chain is
see, people keep gassing him up. I just think 108 is a prime position to get a back.
Yeah, I wouldn't take it back here.
I would actually twist the wide receiver in this one if we can and get the back at 108.
Yeah, I wouldn't take a running back here.
Okay, well, you want to get weird and take Dell or what?
Oh.
I mean, this just to me screams take a cornerback, but
yeah, I mean,
whatever.
We need the depth. We could use the depth, especially if Mathis takes a step back. Williams or Tomlinson? Probably.
We took Williams last time. We could take Tomlinson, whatever.
That's fine.
He's a dog.
It's fine.
I'm not afraid of no D grade. That's fine.
Man, we took an F there last time. So
Carl Brooks. Oh Lord.
there's no way Will McDonald's still there, right? No, he's gone. There's no way he's gone.
Roshan Johnson just went 2 picks above.
I know.
To Indy.
It's
Hey.
going high.
And by the way, we just satisfied needs, so we no longer care about quote unquote needs.
Yeah. Center and
It's-
corner. Yeah.
Let's just have fun.
So running back. Tank.
The running back, y'all.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
I take Tajay Spears, aren't you?
Natty.
I wouldn't get it. Not gonna lie.
Maddie's like, bang that table.
This isn't a Panthers podcast.
Yeah. This is
Just kidding.
what
We don't need to keep pounding.
for anybody that's like, doesn't know, Maddie is like reenacting what Vic Fangio was doing to KJ Hamler. I want KJ Hamler.
I love Tajay Spears.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Let's fuck it. Fuck it.
All right.
Let's do it.
No, not F it, F them. Like
All right.
they're screwed.
Tajay Spears. I think isn't he like just a little above 6 feet?
Depending on shoes, I think. But like
How is
guys,
Anthony Johnson still available, by the way?
I mean, that's where the randomness comes in. Like you almost got to take him at this point.
Who?
Anthony Johnson.
There's Josh Wiley. Let's see. So we went
I mean, he
center.
has ranked 69th.
Nice. We went center, corner, running back.
Who's there at edge?
Oh, you got me on
Got
the
it.
edge of my seat.
We gotta speed that up. We gotta speed it up.
Josh Ramirez.
No, we can get it later. No, I wouldn't
Wide
take these
receiver.
guys.
Wide receiver.
Yeah.
Dontavian Wicks.
Hell no.
Brandon.
Way too early. Dontavian Wicks,
Yeah.
you can get late.
Matt Landers. Ooh.
This pretty whack.
That's whack, yo.
I say go Johnson. Go best player
Yeah,
available.
screw it.
Give Joseph a project.
All right,
This is a draft.
Let him
is
go
the
have fun.
draft. And that leaves us with the
My
last
God,
pick.
so fast. It's insane.
The last pick.
Linebacker potentially or edge.
I'd say
Or-
edge or wide receiver or tackle, but tackle is kind of
What's the wide receiver at now?
Ronnie
Bell,
could be
man.
fun.
that actually would be kind of interesting.
That could be fun.
Moreno Cooper.
Hey, what's the trade offer? Here, I don't even care. Like,
We could trade Albert Oka. We could trade Albert Okawebanam.
No, screw it. I'm
If
not
we
giving
could-
Josh McDaniel shit.
no.
No, we can pick who we want to.
I know.
Why
but
does it
that's-
say one, but we can't
It
see who
I'm not
offered
sure.
us the deal?
Yeah, I'm not sure. That's the weird part.
Oh, this thing sucks. PFF, fix your ish. Terrible.
A.
It's terrible.
I mean, honestly, I would kind of be okay with Bell. That would be interesting.
What's a quarterback? Oh,
Oh, done.
Dorian.
Bet.
All right, just do it.
oh, wow. Oh, wow.
This is the
The-
Screw It podcast.
This is the opposite of Remember the Titans. Instead of zero fun, sir, it's all the fun, sir. Let's go. Let's do it.
So DTR, but he's a fun one. He's actually one that I would not be upset if the Broncos took him. Oh, see,
Look at that. We overthink things.
We
Let's
definitely
just
could have
do
traded
this.
back Clayton, but we wanted to do Lightning. We got to speed it
Look,
up.
This is Well, and we haven't figured out how to see what they offer.
And also,
us,
we
but-
don't know how to trade.
That's beautiful.
Actually, that is maybe not necessarily Anthony Johnson, but like that could necessarily be an ideal draft for the Broncos. Like maybe a position that they go after. Maybe not Tomlinson because it's
Dude,
one
if
thing-
Tomlinson was like an inch taller, that guy's going so much higher.
He's still Michael.
1 inch makes a big difference.
Title of your sex tape.
Nice little Brooklyn.
Actually, that's
Nine-Nine.
probably more of a. That's what she said. But
Yeah.
I had to say it.
Little Brooklyn.
Either
Nine-Nine
one
reference.
fits. It's fine.
Dude, they did a panel at some comedy show convention, and there were so many jokes that they made. Literally, the entire panel was just them making title of your sex tape jokes. It was amazing. Anyway,
Well, I
Go
gotta
ahead.
tell you,
9-9. Love it.
DTR, he's a really fascinating one to have. So we mentioned Jaron Hall, Max Duggan. I kind of like the fact we kept the QB theme a little bit in both of them. And truly, we went with best player available. I'm a little bit surprised they didn't give like A pluses. Say like, especially like the Anthony Johnson pick, like considering like where they had him ranked, that he wasn't like
And yeah, Clayton said the Bucks are killing it. The Milwaukee Bucks, aren't they doing it without Giannis also? That's pretty impressive. Way to tie up the series.
the Nuggets are murdering the Timberwolves.
again.
Like, he's already dead. Stop. It's 45-28.
Well, the Timberwolves shouldn't have never said, we want Denver. Ask and you shall receive.
Hilarious. That's so funny. I
Ask and
can
you
find a
shall
way to watch
receive.
that game.
Yeah.
Jokic is dope. He's so good.
You know who else is?
MVP.
You know who else is dope, Maddie? This is off subject, but since we're rounding out the pod, Gilgeous Alexander.
Avs fan. Let's go.
He is an Avs fan. Brandon didn't believe us. Can you believe
No, I
that?
didn't know what you were talking about.
Thank you guys, by the way, for chiming in. This was
Yeah,
fantastic.
that was fun.
Yeah, this was
Next
fantastic.
week's going to be a lot more fun.
Oh, it's going to be a lot more fun. For anybody that does not know or have been living under a rock for the past few weeks, Frankie, who unfortunately could not be here tonight, and he's upset that he wasn't here. He is actually watching the Bucks game with his girlfriend's dad. So family matters, folks. So he went to go watch that. But next week we are going to do a first round, not Denver Broncos themed, but a first round from picks 1 to 31. We are going to control. We're going to put ourselves in the GM's in the GM seat. Some of us may get fired, but we're going to be in the GM seat. So basically, Frankie's going to control a few teams. Maddie's going to control a few teams. Brandon is going to control a few teams, and I'm going to control a few teams, and we're going to make some selections, and we're going to have a live stream with it. So again, thank you guys so much for tuning into this version of the draft. And coming on next week, we have another draft for you because it only seems apropos to do a show that is the night before draft day to do a first round mock draft. So again, thank you guys so much for hopping on.
This was a blast.
Yeah. Brandon,
That's
make sure
great.
you follow Brandon. Make sure you follow Maddie. The Twitter handles are in the in their name, as you can see. So Brandon Miller PO, Cameron Parker PO, Maddie Moles Pod, and it's certainly not MHRT Network related, but you can certainly, because it is the basketball playoffs, go listen to the podcast that Maddie does about the Oklahoma City Thunder called The Topic Thunder, which is like one of the greatest names of like podcast lore, by the way. Like it is like truly like one of the greatest names aside from Manely Broncos, but like, it's like one of the greatest names for a podcast. So go tune into that. And gentlemen, any last words before we sign off?
Go Nuggets.
Go Nuggets.
Go Avs, go. Please,
Go Avs,
for the
go.
love of God.
Please win game 2. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. to another brand spanking episode of the Manely Broncos Podcast. Let's ride.
Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, 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 go. Hustle hard, hustle every single day.